Enshrouded's update number 7, Wake of the Water, is here, exploring the brand new Vale Water biome. All new lizard creatures, the Dracs, tons of new areas to explore throughout the rest of the map, with now more underwater sections scattered across Ember Vale. There's a lot to cover and a lot to get into, but today I'm going to go through the 10 things you probably need to know to give you just a little bit of a boost and tips on where to go as soon as you land in the new biome. Covering how to access the Vale Water Basin, unlock the Fisherman, all new gear to help you survive in the water, lots of balance changes, fishing and capybaras. So if you do find this video useful, please leave a like and let's go. The new update out now. How do you gain access to the area? You're looking for the passage to the Vale Water Basin. Just like previous biomes and updates, you'd expect this area to be covered in pink shroud if you haven't upgraded your flame enough or taken care of the last biome area. So you may need to go to the Howling Peaks and take care of the bosses there before proceeding any further. You should get a quest pop up to go and examine your flame, and there you'll be able to see hopefully the quest giving you the where to go. The Nomad Highlands is kind of closer, but actually it's better to go to this one here in the Albany Summit if you've got it unlocked, as then you can simply glide and fly all the way through. Keep heading in towards the mountains, take care of some of the enemies here, and then through the opening you've got quite a long little run down to the other side. Get it right and you can glide pretty much a big chunk of the way, but otherwise take your time looking for any more secrets and obviously getting any loot from some of the enemies. The new zone is meant to be level 45 and onwards, and as you emerge out the passage you may start smelling that sea breeze. You come to a place called River Reach, which has got some enemies in, but might be your first good point of call to set up a mini forward base. You then need to head over to Dragon Dream Lake, where you'll find a lost soul, which will then give you more missions and basically start the rest of your quests in this new zone. Lots of the enemies here will be around level 37. I am wearing lots of the new gear as well, so yeah, you may find this a bit tougher than I'm making it look here. Looking for the Tavern Old Salt and Pepper, and there should be a scroll giving you another location very close by for the lost soul. If you look back on the lake, you should see a giant skull as a little island. Swim towards it, and if you head over to the little pier, you should find Captain Melville. Returning back to your base, he'll give you some new quests, one of which is giving you, I do believe, a free fishing rod. And of course, all your other NPCs will have all new quests that you can go and complete in the new area. You also get a recipe from Captain Melville, which will give you a fishing kind of trophy stand that you can put down. Seems pretty simple, right? But just in case the game hasn't really notified you, or it's been a while since you've played, hopefully this has triggered you on how to find a new area. There are indeed plenty of places to go and collect water, and you will be able to go ahead and fill up some barrels that will eventually give you more water when it rains, and it seems to rain quite a bit at the moment. Kind of hoping there may be more ways to actually generate infinite water, because yeah, it's still a bit of a struggle to fill certain large places. And yes, you will find some water in the frozen areas of the map as well, as there should be some ice, but some loose water for you to go and gather as well. You should be able to go ahead and craft the pump from the blacksmith, and you obviously don't need any of the latest new resources as there is water everywhere, so just bronze bars, leather and wood planks. So you may be able to fill just about one of these kind of spaces with one full pump. And just like real life, if water has got an outlet, it will go through and you may not have as much water as you imagined coming down your waterfalls. So as of right now, I don't think there's any other way to make renewable water. If you do use the suck function, it will simply suck all the water out of your basin or pool. There are sluice gates that you can get also from the blacksmith. So maybe some cunning minds might be able to find a way to loop water back round if you want permanent waterfalls. I'm going to leave a link to Katari's channel, another fellow YouTuber who has a bunch of stuff to do with waterfall and building with the new stuff. Check it out in the pinned comments. Now don't despair, you won't necessarily have to make a billion trips to go and get water. If it rains, it will fill up things like your wells, as well as some of the barrels that I mentioned earlier. So you might want to time things right so you can pick up the most amount of water possible from any of your storage. You head over to the carpenter, this is where you'll find the barrels. And obviously you should know you've been able to make wells for a while now, but these water barrels are very specific. Planks, copper bars and charcoal needed. And then that's pretty much it. Just go ahead and place them down, obviously outside, and wait for the rain to hit again. Now maybe you're not too bothered about self-irrigating farms or lovely waterfalls. Maybe you just want to take a dip in the tropical seas. Well, there is something you're probably going to need. In fact, two things that you might want to aim for. Back to the blacksmith and he'll have something called a mining sieve. You'll need some steel bars, some palm wood logs, wax and plant fibre. With your newfound ability to swim underwater, obviously you can go and harvest lots of different resources. And one of the main resources you'll be hunting for is gold. There's plenty of the ore all around the lake where you've come across the spire. To help you survive under the water, you may want to invest in some of the new skills that have unlocked. There's new skills for things like stamina, strength, but also helping underwater. The most useful is the splash dash. Without it, you may find getting access to some of the underwater dungeons and areas pretty tough, as there's lots of traps, especially in the spire. I'm going to have a guide on how you can get a unique legendary wand in this place. But with the splash dash, that becomes a lot easier as long as you time it right, and you'll be able to sneak through a lot of traps and just avoid enemies. Lots of enemies can attack you now in the water, and it seems a bit unfair you can't do much back to them, but at least you can dash out the way. Forever grumpy that certain lore weapons you couldn't really do anything much with once you start to outlevel them? Well, don't worry, you can now craft any of the legendary lore gear. And of course, these will be matching your current level. So no more saying goodbye to that favourite weapon you've always loved. You just need to outlevel your current lore weapon to go ahead and do so. As you would expect, there are a ton of new gear, sets, weapons, the usual 2 armour sets for each class, and the introduction now of greatswords. And don't worry, rangers, you've got all brand new arrows added too. Weapon drops and weapons in general have had a major rebalance. You've come across plenty of weapons called things like ice coated daggers, but they never actually did any kind of ice damage. Now one of the attributes has been swapped for the elemental, or fitting more to the description, so it will now do pierce and ice damage, also gaining extra ice damage perks when upgrading. So lots of other stats have been tweaked, like I said, to match the type of weapon. Weapon durability has been increased, and the higher the item or rarity, the better durability you'll have. But just like previous updates, you will have to go and recollect some of the weapons to see the benefits of the extra durability and additional buffs. There's more variety now also with enemies dropping more weapons, with lots of them being brand new, and they can drop all the way up to legendary. A couple times through my playthrough so far, I've picked up a legendary pickaxe. It might be well worth engaging more with combat and hope for a chance of getting something shiny. There have been significant changes also to the way things regenerate, like your stamina and your health, and you'll obviously notice that on any new armours more so that you maybe go ahead and craft or find, with lots of arm sets and especially rings as well being tweaked. Now the regeneration balance is more focused though on what you do also in combat. Basically it was too high. If it sounds like a nerf, then you probably just need to label it a nerf. But the devs are keen to point out there will be other ways to boost both of these attributes, like your stamina, like your health, so it's not necessarily too much of a punishment. The idea being that they want you to engage properly in combat and stay there, rather than running away and just coming back when you're in a better condition. Now it does seem to be HP or health basically being the one that's been nerfed the most, with only maybe slight more reduction in stamina and mana regeneration levels. But yeah, they have said they added a lot more regeneration to other sources like potions, foods and more. So of course with all of this water there is now a fish mechanic added, and I've got to say it's going to be pretty challenging. You can collect all different types of bait, with some helping you catch more of the rarer fishes. As long as you've got some in your inventory and a fishing rod, you can go ahead and cast your line in any body of water, and eventually a little X will appear telling you the fish is about to bite. You'll also notice it jumping out the water and moving around a little bit. Once it's jumped and actually bit and you've managed to catch it, you then have to wear it out. Generally speaking, going in the opposite way that it's moving, but being mindful of your own stamina. Once your green bars disappear, you'll snap the line. You You could pay more attention to your actual rod and see if it's really actually being forced, then that's the cue to maybe go a bit more in direction of the fish. Better fishing rods and obviously better bait will also help by the looks of things. With the fish that you've caught, you can of course make new meals, including tomato fish soup, which will then give you an extra 20 seconds of oxygen while exploring in the depths. Now with swimming, it's important to note that there is now a debuff for being soaked, which reduces your stamina. But a lot of the brand new armours mitigate that by reducing it down. Being near a campfire should dry you off a lot quicker. If you've ever played Valheim and most other games similar like this, you'll probably get the idea. Really hoping we come across some jewellery that will give us some extra breathing or movement speed under the water too. Last piece of new gear maybe to mention is there is a special hook that you can get, which also will latch on to the special hook points even underwater and pull you forward too. And yes, there are brand new livestock, capybaras. At first glance, they don't really seem to offer much. I mean, they don't give you milk, nor any meat, but you will need lots of their bristles to go ahead and craft a lot of the items in the game currently for armour especially. These can obviously be found in the new biome. Yeah, just turn away when it comes to you actually killing them to get their bristly hairs. And there we go, that's pretty much I think the most important stuff. Obviously there's a lot more details than that, which I'll be presenting in hopefully some smaller guides, maybe even a patch notes full video. It's been a while since I spent a good amount of time in Enshrouded. In fact, there's so much I haven't actually got around to doing. So I do plan on focusing a bit more on Enshrouded in the coming months. So hopefully you'll subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you right back soon.